Hello and welcome to the full moon in Aries yoga class. My name is Amanda from Happy Hippie Fitness. So the full moon offers us insight into personal development and spiritual growth. Every full moon is different, largely due to the influence of the sign that it happens to reside in on the day of the full moon. So this moon has a really fiery energy, as Aries is a cardinal fire sign. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and it gives us that energy to take action towards our goals. It invites us to initiate things and start new adventures and new chapters. And look at that, the sun is coming out just as I started talking about the fiery Aries sign. So the fiery Aries wants us to cultivate motivation and self-belief. So it's often associated with passion and even aggression. The fiery energy is almost like a catalyst. It inspires us to start something new, to bring about new change or change that is needed. Aries is represented by the ram, and usually you think of like it's sturdy. So Aries is represented by the ram, as you've seen in many depictions. Usually think of the horns, like the sturdy horns. So when you think about what Aries rules in the human body, it rules the head and the neck. So strong-headed head and neck, which you'll see us do a lot of in this class today. The chakra that Aries rules is the solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus chakra is located in your abdomen, and it is the powerhouse of self-belief, confidence, and power. So we have the energy to release blocks, to clear the way for manifesting dreams. The sign of Aries reminds us that we're each here with a unique mission, and sometimes it's hard to see what that mission is. And so on the full moon, embrace the notion that you have this mission and take the space to really get clear on what that mission is during our practice today. So this specific full moon in 2022 is opposite of the planet Venus, which is known as the planet of love. So the astrology meaning for this full moon, if you bring in the influence of the planet of Venus, means that you will be overcoming some sort of tension, and overcoming that tension with self-love or self-acceptance. That tension might be in many areas of your life during this phase, or you may notice it's in relationships. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a relationship between you and someone at work, a family member, anyone in your life. But it basically means during this time to bring the element of love into your life, which is releasing and kind of forgiving others, which is another element of the full moon, is letting go of the past, releasing those blockages, things that might be blocking you from growing, from moving on to the next chapter. So that's a really important theme that is in this full moon specifically, because of the way all of the planets are aligned. So everything I was just rambling about, those are going to be some of the themes in our class today. Physically and emotionally and mentally, we are going to be focusing on those themes. So physically, we will be doing some fiery movements, especially in the core where the chakra is located. And then we're also going to be doing some really nice stretches for your head and your neck as well. We will be bringing our attention to rediscovering what our mission is and clearing any blockages that we have along the way. So this is going to be a really nice releasing class and give you some time to kind of hone in on what you really want in life. We will have an affirmation in this class, and it's going to be the Sanskrit words so hum, which means I am that. This mantra will tap into your core and awaken that part of you that is connected to the universal energy, the piece of you that knows where you've been and where you are going. So allow time for any answers to flood in during this practice, during your shavasana, and even after this practice is over. If you come up with anything or any thoughts come in your head, maybe you want to take a journal and write down, just stream a thought, whatever comes up for you during this practice today. And finally, it was requested that we bring some crystals into this practice, crystals and breath work, and we have the breath work in our flow, but I do have some crystal recommendations that are really good to use during Aries season, the Aries full moon, and for this session especially. So I'm going to get into what these are. So this first one is carnelian. It's one of my favorite crystals, actually. This is good for protection and new beginnings. Use this stone to give you courage as you search for your life's purpose. So again, it goes back to that theme of your life's mission. This is pyrite. It's also known as fool's gold. This brings persistence, motivation, and willpower. So you can use this stone to stay focused on your life mission. And finally, this is bloodstone. You can always tell bloodstone because it has these little specks of red throughout the stone. This stone keeps goals stable so that the driving energy of Aries can work its purpose. So if you have one or any of these crystals, you can bring them into your practice by leaving them at the top of your mat to kind of infuse the energy and their essence into your flow today. You can even take it one step further and put those crystals on your belly, right over where the solar plexus chakra would be when we do our shavasana, that you can bring it into your meditation practice that way. And again, you can bring any crystals you want into any yoga class at any time. These are just good ones that align with the theme of Aries. Okay, so when you're ready, get on your mat and meet me in a comfortable seated position. I am going to have a yoga block in this practice for one pose, so you may need that prop. If you don't have a yoga block, you can always use like a water bottle. We're just going to be resting our head on it at one point. Invite any props you need, get into any position that's comfortable for you, and let's get this thing going. Okay, I'm going to place my crystals on the top of my mat. Like I said, you can put them in any shape you'd like to form a crystal grid. If you'd like more information on that, let me know. I can do a whole video or a whole series on it. But just find something that's comfortable for you. Keep the props you need nearby. And then I want you to close your eyes and settle into your seated position. You can leave the hands on the knees. Bring them in between your thighs. Let the shoulders fall heavy. Notice your breathing here as you unclench your jaw. And just come inside your body, come in tune to the physical. Notice the parts of your body that touch the floor, what parts don't. We're going to practice some deep yogic breaths. So we want to expand our inhales and our exhales. So notice how you inhale here through your nose. Take a deep breath in. The next time you breathe in, I want you to really expand your chest. So take a deep breath in, make that chest kind of puff up a bit. Good. Our next round, I want you to make not only your chest expand, but bring the air deep enough so that it goes into your stomach. So your inhale should be 3 or 4 seconds long. Chest expands first, and then the belly rises. So deep breath in. Good. So that is a full yogic breath. I want you to continue that breathing during the beginning of our practice here and during the flow if you can. Again, our affirmation today is going to be so hum, which means I am that. To ground ourselves into this practice, I want to do a breathwork technique with you. We're going to inhale, and in your mind, you're going to say so. And then on the exhale, you're going to say hum. In your head, because we need to be breathing. So as you inhale, I want you to say so. Exhale, hum. We're going to do this 11 times at your own pace. So let's begin. Deep breath in. So. And on that exhale, hum. So. Hum. Keep going. So deep breath in. Hum. Deep, full breaths. And when you are done, take a moment to return to your normal breathing rhythm and keep your eyes closed. If you feel any different physically, if any thoughts came up, just make note of them. We're going to slowly blink open our eyes and begin our practice. So like I mentioned, Aries rules the head and the neck, so we're going to get started with some light neck stretches. I want you to take your right hand and we're going to tilt the head to the right. So we're going to bring our right ear to the right shoulder, and then you're going to take your right hand and lightly place it on top of the head. Notice I'm not pulling the head down, I'm letting gravity pull on my hand to add some weight to my head. Deep breaths here. And notice if any positions feel better. Maybe if you bring your chin towards your chest a little bit, you'll feel a deeper stretch on the back of your neck. Or you could bring your chin up a bit Maybe feel a stretch in the front. Very tiny movements when you're dealing with the neck, so super small. Just notice if something feels better, and maybe stay there. We're going to slowly start to move the head, so we're going to bring the chin down to the center of the head. Take your fingers out in front of you and interlock them, and then bring the hands on top of your head to add that weight again. I'm not pressing my head down. I'm letting gravity add weight to the back of my head. You can release the hands, keep the head the same spot. And I'm going to bring my left ear to my left shoulder. My left hand is going to come up and lay on top of my head gently to add that weight. Breathing through this. So we slowly release the hands, bring the head back to upright, and maybe shake our head no. Shake it yes, up and down. And any other head motions you would like to add here. On the next inhale, I invite you to bring your arms up over your head nice and tall. We're going to interlock our fingers and push the palms up towards the ceiling or the sky. Breathe here as you think about lengthening, growing from the ribs, getting a little bit taller as you stretch those arms up. You want your eyes in the direction of those hands. We're going to start to bump the left hip out a little bit and then lean to the right side of your body for a nice side bend. If this is too much, you could bring the right hand down to make it a little less intense. So choose the level you're more comfortable with here. Deep breath in. On the exhale, we deepen. Coming back to center. Take a deep breath, lengthen from the ribs again, grow a little bit taller in your seat. Exhale, we're going to start to bump the hip to the right and lean to the left side of our body. Option to bring the hand down. And come back to center. And you can bring the arms down and shake them out for a second if you need to. But they're going right back up, so we're going to interlock the fingers, bring them above the head, and take a deep breath in as you look up. On the exhale, I want you to round the shoulders, bring the chin closer to your chest, and then bring the palms down to the center position. Really round and tuck here on the exhale. And then inhale, we're going to come up. Exhale, you round and push the chin down. So this is a variation of a cat-cow. You can release the hands, bring them down to your side, and we're going to transition into a tabletop position. So with this one, you want to remember to have your wrist underneath your shoulders. Your kneecap should be in line with your hips. And we're going to hit some more cat-cow movements here, but in the traditional sense. So to perform that cat-cow, you guys know the drill. We're going to drop that chest down, bring the gaze forward and the chin up. And then as you exhale, you're going to round the shoulder blades, push against the earth through your palms, and tuck your chin in. And just go with your own rhythm here as we slowly start to warm up the spine. When you're ready, you can come back to that tabletop position. We're going to go into a low lunge from here. So I want you to push all that weight into the right side of your body as you bring your left foot up. Tuck in your tailbone here. So if you have your back arched, you want to tuck the tailbone in as you push forward to strengthen and stretch that thigh. Keep that gaze forward. We're working on that posture with our neck. So you don't want to hyperextend and have your head dropping back. Just keep it lightly gazing forward. an option here to get an additional stretch in the back of our hamstrings by slowly pushing the hips behind you and folding over that foot. You can play around with your ankle position if you point the toes up or point them forward. My dog is enjoying the nice weather today, so sorry for the background prop. Okay, we come back into that lunge. Put both hands on the mat as we return back to our tabletop. You can take any movements here to stretch out your back, and we're going to repeat that on the other side. So right foot comes forward, we're pushing all the weight into our left palm, and then we come up and we tuck that tailbone in, push into our thigh. Keep that gaze forward. Really feel that stretch in the hip. We can slowly start to push the hips back and lean over our front leg. And again, it doesn't have to be completely straight. Even if you're getting a little bit of a stretch, you can add blocks here too. You can play with that foot position as well. Okay, coming back into our tabletop position for a split second here. We're going to take our hands and I want you to walk them in front of you one length. So just move the hands up. We're going to tuck the toes under and get ready for our first downward dog. With this, we're pushing the hips back behind us and letting the head hang heavy here. You can pedal out the feet, take a few seconds. And when you're ready, we can walk ourselves up to the front of the mat to hang in a forward fold. Now, I'm going to take my cardigan off so you guys can see what I'm talking about, but think about having your chest on top of your knees. I have my knees bent, and my chest, my belly, is almost laying on top of my knees. You don't want to have your legs straight like that. You want to keep them bent and keep the upper body heavy. You can grab the elbows, sway side to side. On your next inhale, we're going to straighten our back by pushing the palms against the shins and looking forward. And then on that exhale, we're going to fold again. Let the upper body drape. On the next inhale, we're going to push against the floor and we're going to rise up to standing. So sweep the arms out, rise up, hands over the head, and let them fall to prayer. Just take a split second here to breathe. Notice any change or difference in your body. And we're going to repeat that again. So deep breath in, bring those hands up over the head, push the hips back, and we go into that nice forward fold. Deep bend in the knees, heavy upper body. Inhale here, we're going to push against the shins, flatten the back, keep that chin tucked in. Exhale, we forward fold. On that inhale, we're pushing against the earth, sweeping the arms up as we come into that standing. And then we bring the palms to our heart. Deep breath in, hands go up. Let's push the hips back and forward fold one last time. Last time to shake it out. Let the arms sway. And then we're going to push against the shins for that halfway lift. Exhale, drape the body. Inhale, we push all the way up to our standing. Hands to heart center. So that was a half sun salutation, kind of warming up the spine a bit, getting the body used to that heat, which we're building for Aries. We're going to go into a round of sun salutations for each side of the body, so the left side and the right side. So I'll lead you through that now. We're coming in again to our prayer position, and we're going to move with our breath. So try to go into each pose with the breathing. So one pose will be inhale, the next pose will be exhale. The next pose will be inhale, the next one will be exhale. Just try to sync your breath up with those movements to get the most out of the sun salutations. It was so sunny out today too, and I came out to film and the clouds came out, so maybe we'll bring it back by doing these. So, looking forward, standing at the top of the mat. Hands again are at heart center. We're going to take a deep breath in and bring the arms up over your head. Think about squeezing your butt as you go for a mini back bend here. Exhale, forward fold. On the inhale, we're going to let the fingertips touch the ground, and we're going to step the right foot back behind us until it comes all the way down, flat. If you need a pillow or a cushion, you can put that underneath the knee. Gazing forward, keeping that chin tucked in, we are going to take that deep breath and then go into our next position, which is downward dog. Deep breath here, we're gonna transfer our weight into our palms. So now we're in a plank. And it's your option, your choice, if you want to go down on your knees like so, doing a push-up like this. You can do a full chaturanga, where you go down in a straight line, or you can go for any variation, such as bringing the knees, the chest, and the chin. So we're lowering ourselves down however you want. Sorry if you hung out in the plank the entire time I explained that. Now that we're here, release the head, press the palms into the earth. Press the toes into the earth as well. So you want them flat. You want your toenails pressing against your mat. We're going to push our hips into the ground, almost like we're thrusting. Push our toes into the ground so the toenails are pushing against the mat. And press your palms against the mat as well. We're going to rise up slightly for a mini back bend, or you can take any variation you would like. So you can bring the arms in front of you for a more deep back bend. After that back bend, we are going to tuck the toes and return all the way back into our downward dog. Since we step back with the right foot, we're going to bring that left foot up in the air and step it forward into that nice low lunge again. Take a deep breath. Both fingertips are on the floor. And we're going to step up into a forward fold. So tucking my toes on the back foot, I'm stepping up into that forward fold. Deep breath here. We're going to push against the earth with our feet and rise till our hands meet at the top, and then bring them down to heart center. So that was one side of a sun salutation. We're going to repeat that on the other side. So take a moment to breathe. Let's begin. Inhale, arms up over the head. Exhale, we go for that forward fold. Inhale, we put the fingertips on the floor, and we're going to step the left foot back this time. Knee goes flat, toes go flat, look forward. Going for the next one, right into our downward dog. We're going to pass through plank just for a second, and then lower yourself down however you can. Now that we're here, we're pushing our hips, our toes, our hands into the mat to rise into your back bend of choice. And then we're going to come down, tuck the toes, push ourselves back into downward dog. Lean onto the left foot, the right foot comes up in the air. We step forward into our low lunge on the other side. And then we are going to step up into a forward fold. Inhale here, we push against the earth, we rise nice and tall, and we bring the hands to heart center. If you want some more fire, feel free to do another round on each side, but I want you to breathe here for a second with the eyes closed. Notice if anything is coming up. We're building that fire in our body, in our hearts, in our core with these movements. We are going to do it one more time on each side. I am going to not cue the breathing. I'm going to cue the positions. And if you can pick up the pace on this one, go ahead. But otherwise, it's your own practice. You never have to go at my speed. So let's begin again. Arms up over the head for Hastasana. Going down for Uttanasana. We're leaning onto our left foot, the right foot goes back for our low lunge, and then we're going into downward dog. Passing through that plank as we push ourselves down to the earth. Deep breath as we go for our back bend of choice, and then we tuck the toes and push back into a downward dog. The left foot comes up in the air, we step it forward into that low lunge. Fingertips against the earth as we step up into forward fold. Inhale, we rise. Woo! One more round, guys. Deep breath in, arms come up over the head, folding over. Exhaling here for that forward fold. Stepping our left foot back here. We're going into that low lunge, looking ahead as we swivel the foot back into our downward dog. Passing through our plank, choosing how we want to get down, hitting that nice back bend. Tucking the toes, going into downward dog as we bring the right foot up. Step it forward into that low lunge, and then step up into our forward fold. Deep breath in, and we rise, hands above the head. Bring them down to your heart. Let's get another forward fold. Step the feet back into downward dog. Drop the knees, push the hips back. Let's take a child's pose. Whew. Nice work building that heat today. the body settle in. Any form of child's pose you would like. Really nice job, guys. This time is for you. Let the head get heavy and really hit the mat. Feel that contact activating our third eye chakra with the forehead to mat contact. We're going to get ready to come up into tabletop. If you need to stay down here a little bit longer, you totally can. When we'll come into our tabletop, we'll shake it out for a second. Step the palms forward one notch, tuck the toes under, and we're back in downward dog. So from here, we can either walk forward into our next position if it's easier for you, but we're going to go into a low lunge again. So I'm going to lift my left foot all the way up in the air, and I'm going to step it forward until it touches the mat right here. Dropping the back knee, just like we had before, for that little stretch. Taking a moment here, we're going to root to rise. So if you're not familiar with that term, we want to just make sure we have a nice form. So we want to have our front foot underneath our front knee, and we are going to tuck the toes on the back right foot. So I have my left foot up here, my right foot back here. I want you to think about almost squeezing your thighs together. I know your thighs aren't actually standing next to each other, but imagine you have like a watermelon right here and you want to squeeze your thighs together. We're going to push our feet into the ground. So I'm pushing my toes, pushing the top of my foot, and we're going to rise up. So that's the term root to rise. If you need assistance, if you want to use blocks to get up, you totally can. But really try to take the challenge today. Push the thighs together, push this foot into the earth, push the toes into the earth, bring the arms up over the head and rise. So here we are in our warrior one. Just make sure the hips are in sync, facing forward. You may need to adjust that back foot if it feels better for you. But here we go. Hands up over the head, feeling nice and powerful. Don't let the shoulders scrunch up by the ears. Stand your ground. Keep squeezing the thighs together. From here, we're going to pivot our back foot so the heel comes down, keeping the arms out wide and looking over the fingertips. We're now in warrior two. Imagine an invisible wall against your thigh. You don't want your thigh caving in. You want to push that thigh against that wall. Bringing the arms behind you. You can take a bind of choice, whether that's grabbing the hands like so or grabbing the elbows behind you. We're going to pull the shoulder blades back and down, and we're going to fold forward for a reverse warrior. For a humble warrior. So coming down. Trying to keep your chest as close to the knee as you can. Keeping the integrity of the warrior by bending that knee. Again, if you need to change binds halfway, totally fine. We're going to push against those feet to rise up. Arms come back into that warrior position. Going to lean forward slightly, flip the palm till it's facing the sky, and then we're going back for reverse warrior. See, I knew it was coming. Looking up, feeling that stretch in our side body here. Keeping that knee bent. Next up, we're going to cartwheel our arms forward. And we're going to transition ourselves either into standing or warrior three. So up to you. I'm going to push off this back foot. Hands are on the mat. You can stay here and find a gazing point in front of you. Or if you feel you're ready, release the hands. Again, keep your eyes focused on one spot. Whether it's a shoe in your room, a flower, just keep looking at it. As you rise up into tree pose. So place the foot wherever you want it, whether it is on your calf, down here on your ankle, or all the way up on your thigh. Just try not to land your foot on your knee. You always want to protect those knees. Keep gazing. There we go. Any variations you would like to take here for balance, go right ahead. If you want to hook your right hand into the right toe and extend your foot out. Maybe you want to go into a dancer pose. For that, you're going to push your foot into your palm until you can't push it any further, and then you're going to slightly lean forward. When you're ready, let's bring those feet down, shake it out, let's flush them out with a nice forward fold. You can even cross your right foot behind the left to get a deeper stretch in the single leg. And then we're going to step it back into that downward dog. Deep breath in. We're going to bring the right foot up in the air, step it forward. And again, we're going to root to rise. So pressing the toes into the ground. Think about squeezing the thighs together as you bring the arms up over your head. This is where we check our back. Core is tight, hips are forward, arms up nice and proud over the head. Keep breathing here. Alright, when you're ready, we're going to pivot the back heel down, keeping the integrity of the legs. We're going into Warrior Two. Feeling good, feeling alive, heart rate's elevated, feeling that fire burning within us. Take that bind of choice again, whether it's bringing the hands together, shoulder blades back, or grabbing onto those elbows. You're going to hinge forward, bringing that chest as close as you can to your thigh, to your knee, whatever you can get to today. Breathe. Then we push against that foot to rise, releasing that bind here, bringing the hands back into the warrior position. Flip the palm, lean forward, and then bring it back for reverse warrior. When you're ready, we're going to cartwheel the hands forward, lifting that back foot up. We have our Warrior 3 modification. And then if you want, you can lift those hands slowly, keep the eyes on that point, and we rise. I go back down, but now I'm rising again. Look at that. You can sweep the thigh forward of the other leg. If you need to rest at any point, bring the foot down for a second, then get it back up. You got this. Find where you want to rest that foot. Think about pushing your thigh and pushing your foot together, almost like the watermelon analogy, but with your foot and the thigh, to create that nice line of balance. You can take any inversions here, anything you would like. And then we can bring the feet down, shake them out, shake them around, and hit that forward fold. And from here, we're going to step back into our downward dog and take a child's pose. Woo. Just a quick breath here. Coming back to that mantra of Soham. Inhale So, exhale Ham. Coming into our tabletop, we're going to transition into a seated position. So any way you can find to get on your booty, meet me there. We're going to hit a little bit of core before we go down onto our back for good, I promise. So we got boat. For boat, you want to, again, always make sure that little divot in your back is gone. So if you push your hips back and then push them in, you want them pushed in. Nice flat back here. Many ways to do boat. You can make it accessible for every level. The first level would be keep the hands on the floor entirely. Lift one foot up. Maybe you want to lift 2 feet up. If you want to level up by getting the hands off the mat, you totally can. Keep them here, like so. Again, you can play around. 1 foot maybe is good enough for you today. And if you really want to go for it, you bring them both. So those are our options. If you were doing it, we're going to start now. So fix the back. Deep breath in. We are going to bring the legs out to whatever we can do. I usually start with them bent and work my way up to straightening them. So deep breath, we're just holding. Straightening them a bit. Remember, the more that we challenge ourselves in these postures, it trains our brain. So the next time we do it, we can do them a little bit longer. We get a little bit stronger mentally and physically to hold the position of uncomfortableness. And we can take that into many factors in life as well. They're like, oh great, she's giving me philosophy as I'm dying. Alright, bring them down. Take a breather. We're going to do it one more time and try to level it up. If you had one leg up, let maybe try 2 for a quick second. Maybe you want to try to extend them out 2 seconds. Just try to build up that tolerance, build up that resistance, okay? Deep breath in, flatten that back, shoulders down. One up, other up, and extend if you can. You got this. You can do this. You got this far. This is our solar plexus. We are activating our core, our abdomen here. You can do it. You can do it. Push past whatever you're feeling here. You were tough. And we bring them down. Not too bad. We got one more core challenge for you. These are some of my favorite core movements. They are very small looking, but they are deep core exercises. So they're not like a million crunches, but this really works your core. It's going to help you in stability, and it will help you get stronger in lifts if you do any major lifts or in yoga. So we are going to do a little bit of a foot tap. With this one, you can come on your hands, come on your forearms to make it harder. So pick the level. All we're going to do is we're going to keep our feet up, tap one down at a time, just like that. And going with the theme today, I want you guys to do so, hum. So, we got so, hum, in your head. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Here we go. So, hum. So, hum. Just go with it. You got this. Keep repeating that mantra in your head today. So, hum. You got it. 10 more. That's it. So, hum. It's 5 each leg. So, hum. So, hum. You got it. Keep breathing. Finishing it up. Woof. All right, guys. We are making our way onto our back to finish it up here as slow as you can. Feel every vertebrae go down. Controlled. Shoulders and head should be last to go down. Whew. And once you are here, we're going to take some final twists. Any other poses that you would like to take, if you want to pause now and add them in, you can. We're going to bring both our thighs, stack them, let them fall to the right, and look over the left shoulder. Noticing the change in our bodies. My breathing has gotten deeper. My heart rate is definitely elevated from that last part. But it feels good. It feels good to be able to move, to be alive here. Enjoy it. Notice any moments here that you can take gratitude for. And we'll bring those legs back to the center. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, push them over to the left side, looking over the right shoulder. Maybe one side is a little more flexible than the other. Just take note of these things. Don't attach any feelings to that. Notice in this practice that one side can do more than the other. Just noticing our bodies, becoming the observer, not attaching emotion or guilt or any negative feelings, because you showed up today. That's all that matters, is you took the time doing what you can today. And being the best, being the most flexible, the strongest, the most productive isn't the goal, ever. Bring those thighs back to center. We're going to get ready to settle into our Shavasana. So for this pose, bringing the feet to the opposite sides of the mat, letting the hands face up towards the sky. We'll close our eyes, relax the jaw here. But just notice how your belly moves on each inhale and exhale. How the air feels entering your throat and leaving it. And think of the themes and anything that comes up from what we mentioned today. Talking about our life's mission, starting something new, releasing the old. Remember, Aries is the first sign in the zodiac. The start of a new beginning, the beginning of a new cycle. But we need to release the old to carry into the new. Take this time now to list in your head what you want to forgive, what you want to release. If releasing sounds too extreme to you, think about what you should pay less attention to. Whether it's a person, a situation, or an opinion, or anything else. What do you want to take your attention away from? Slowly start to come back to your body. Just notice how your body feels on the mat, how your breath feels again. Remember, we have the energy to release blocks, to clear the way for manifesting our dreams. Releasing those blocks reminds us that we have our own unique mission. Whatever doesn't serve us on that mission, allow it to be released in this moment. You start to move your fingers and your toes. Shake your head yes and no. And take any small movements to start to come back into the physical. You can lean onto your right side and cushion your head with your forearm in that fetal position. And make your way up to a seated position when you are ready. When you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes in the seated position. And thank you so much for joining me today. Again, if anything came up during the practice or the Shavasana, thoughts or ideas or quotes or anything, write them down right now in a journal. Pause the video, just take a few moments to do that. And thank you again. Namaste.